Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we have a Saade's Cantina. I have not formally done one of these in a bit, I don't think, but anyways, we're gonna hop right into this. I got a lot of questions today, so it's gonna be longer, probably on the longer end, but we shall see. Question 1. Why is no one talking about Star Wars Celebration? I've been, active on Instagram for a while. It's because no one is excited about Star Wars right now. I mean, what have they done? The Acolyte, Tales of the Empire, uh, Skeleton Crew. Like, what is there to be excited from? What is there to be like? Oh, I can't wait for more of this. Like, everything we've gotten the past year and a half has just sucked ass. And it's like you have these people like, oh, why? No, because like, what are we celebrating? The future, and if we are, then you better deliver, and it's like we can't guarantee that. So that's why no one's talking about it, because everyone's just pissed off and tired of the bullshit. That's the issue. And we've been tired of the bullshit for like almost 10 years now. And it just every year just some new piece of garbage releases, it's like, and I know at this point they're probably never going to pull it together unless there's a shift in leadership, like I've said a million times, but it's the truth. I mean, we're never going to see a big shift in their quality output until there's a clean house, but I mean, that really should answer your question. Like, people are just not excited about this shit anymore because it's just shit and everyone expects it to be shit. And if it's halfway decent, then everyone overhypes it and they're like, oh, this is great, great, great. This is like kind of like what I did with Ahsoka when it was just a decent Star Wars product, So it's like, the only thing that I can be confident in moving forward is Andor Season 2. And that's really it. Mando and Grogu, I've heard reports, like I spoke about, that it's not looking too great. And then, obviously, the Heir to the Empire movie, Ahsoka Season 2 sounds like it's going to be really great, but you have to factor in they still have to write it. They're in production now, but you have to hope that the writing is good. Because I feel that's Dave's kind of weakness, is writing, good character development and writing, I don't know, more complex stories. Like George's stuff wasn't on the surface level, wasn't like ultra complex. Like, you could watch Star Wars and not be confused or anything, but if you dig deeper, it is a hyper complex franchise. You just have to dig a little bit, and that's what Star Wars should be. Dave has the surface level and then doesn't really go beyond that. And that's like, I don't know. And you feel it. Like, Ahsoka felt really dry and like, I don't know. But yeah, we just have to hope that, that show is written well, at least for its second season. But we'll see. But yeah, honestly, like, and then the Heir to the Empire movie, that also has to be really good because that has Luke and Han and Leia, and like, but that's very far down the line. Like, I don't know when that's coming out, but it's like there's not a ton. It's like Andor Season 2, Ahsoka Season 2. Like, that's not a lot, and oh yeah, and then the supposed Maul animated series, Tales of the Underworld. I guess there's a couple things, but still, the general energy around Star Wars right now is pretty negative, just because it's been just either shit or lame, so yeah, that's that. The second question is thoughts on Daredevil Born Again. I absolutely love that show. It is such a well put together series. It really revived my appreciation for Daredevil because I watched it when I was younger and I didn't really like connect with Daredevil all that much, and I was just like, oh, it's a good show, and I acknowledge that, but I was never super into it. But now seeing him, again, obviously at an older age, where I'm more mature, where it's like I'm really able to connect with that character a lot now, and it was kind of cool to see how he handles making a big mistake and whatever. And again, he breaks his unbreakable rule, but instead of pouting on an island about it like Luke in Last Jedi, he still fights for good even in the background when he needs some time, but then he eventually just hops back into it because he knows, hey, I gotta do, right? And he doesn't hop back into it virtually or enforce ghostly. He just goes right into it, right? So like that, they wrote that kind of character, I guess, arc very well in that series. And it doesn't feel like it's a different Daredevil. And now he's had things like that happen a lot where he like doesn't wear the costume as much, or he like almost dies, or like that's happened a lot, you know. And hence, you know, the show's called Born Again. It's like he's reborn into this new person, this new psyche. He's learned that it's okay to make mistakes and whatever. So, you know, it's like, I don't know. Yeah, and then obviously in the latest the latest episode just dropped. Have not seen it yet. It is 9:19 on Tuesday, April 15th right now as I'm recording this. So I will probably watch it right after this video. I'm very excited for the finale. I heard it's going to be crazy and that it's gory as hell and that Daredevil and Punisher team up. It's going to be sick, and I love Punisher. He is like one of my favorite Marvel characters. He's awesome. Him and Daredevil, really. They're great. But where was I going with that? I don't know. But yeah, it just, the latest episode, you know, where he jumps in front of Wilson Fisk. At first I was like, that is so stupid. Like, what is that? This guy hates Fisk and he's just going to die for him. But, you know, the point was, you know, it's like you defend your worst enemies. You know, it's like it's protecting your worst enemy. It's a thing, you know, a true hero would do. They're not going to let anyone die, you know, like that. And it was kind of a step in his arc, you know, his progression since he tried to kill Bullseye, you know. So it was like a moment for him that is really big. And I'm curious to see how that will unfold in the next episode. But that's not it for Born Again. We have another season, and who knows, there could be more after that if the show does well enough. So I'm very excited for the future of that show. Yeah, dude, so I love Born Again. It's sick. Next. Another film industry. It's so funny. This guy always asks me about my film endeavors. How are things going on your sets? And where are you going into in film? I'm curious because I'm interested in film and I don't know how feasible it is. Okay, so film is the most broad industry just in the arts field. Like, it is so broad. There's like, if you want to be a driver, you could be in the film industry, driving A-list actors everywhere. If you want to be like a cook, you can be in the film industry. If you want to be a technician, you can be in the film industry. If you want to be a writer, you can be in the film industry. If you want to act, you can be in the film industry. If you want to do effect stuff, if you want to edit, if you want to do music, if you want to do set design, costume, you know, like there's everything in the film industry. If you want to do business, like me, which I'll go into, you can do it in the film industry. So there's spaces for everyone. It's just, when you're in film school, and this is something I've learned, all the creatives will, and I'm a creative myself, but I'm not like the creatives, if you know what I'm saying, who think that they're just better than you, and, oh, I did this, my shots look like this, therefore I'm better than you. I shoot grassy fields on film, so I'm better than you. I spent 100% of my time focusing on camera shots and not the progression of my plot. I'm better than you. You know, all that shit, you know? And it's like, okay, you know, it's like you can't really say it's like, I don't know. It's weird. But anyways, my point being is creatives will make it seem like there's like the only way to go into film is by writing and directing. And not even writing, by directing and you being the head of your own projects and, you know, you coming up with the ideas, and that's the only way you're going to get in. That is absolutely not true. And 95% of those kids who talk like that end up dropping it because they don't have a mindset where they're not very locked people. They're very like, uh, all over the place, and their priorities aren't straight and good, and they fall behind, and then they don't come up with ideas, and then they end up dropping film entirely. And then when they don't get into schools, they freak out and want to have a mental breakdown. When it's like Christopher Nolan didn't get into film schools, like tons of George Lucas didn't think he'd get into film schools, but he had connections to USC. Like tons of very successful filmmakers um, have tried to break, have thought they're not going to get in, and some legitimately have not gotten in, and they're the biggest in the world. So my point being is, even if you don't get into film schools, that doesn't mean you're bad at what you do. That just means like you're not that type of film person, So you need an education. You need to know how to make a movie very, very deeply, fondly, be in some kind of film program, whether it's trade or something that's really, really good. And I was blessed by the Lord to be in the program I'm in right now. And I know more than most college students, which is insane to me. Obviously not more than like, big film school college students, but like, the state schools or whatever the hell, like they're so baseline, and I'm way past that level. Like they couldn't teach me anything at this point because my program is like so, and I've heard that from the teachers, is that they have alumni come back and be like, yeah, I already like learned everything that was pointless, so I dropped it and just went straight in and they were fine. So, like, that shouldn't be a big deal to people, but I guess it is. They just bank on these schools. And they're great for, I guess, networking, but there's other ways to do that. And that's the thing. The film industry, there's so many ways to navigate it. I'm 17 years old, still in high school, and I've gone on professional sets, met very successful people, have successful friends who are older than me. Like, it's not this super impossible thing. It's just the old mindset is that being an artist or a creative in any sort is impossible and it's laughable and a joke. But I'm here to tell you it's not. And I can't speak of, in 5 years when I'm 20 something, I I'm banking on where I'll be, right? But I'm not there yet physically, so I don't know. But so far, so good. Knock on wood. Fuck. There's no wood panel in the wall. Yeah, so it's like there's always a place for you somewhere. And the thing is it looks like there's all these kids who want to go into film, but like I said, the vast majority of them drop. All those TikTok people aren't really in the film industry. They're making their own films with their own money, not expecting anything in return. It's like a hobby, and then they put them in film festivals, which anyone can do. But that's not being in the film industry. It's not. If you want to do that, then anyone can do that, right? Like that's just you could probably do that without having a big education in film. You could probably just learn through books and shit. And actually, that's not true because how I learned the process and everything was being on a bajillion sets. That's really how I learned how to do everything. But in terms of coming up with a story or whatever, you could pretty much do... I was pretty much self-taught. I had some assistance from one of my teachers, but I was mainly self-taught on that. And I know more than about telling a story in film than half my film class. It's pretty fucking hilarious. Because they don't care about story. And that's the bad thing, is all these kids are so focused on visuals and they forget that the whole point of the film is to tell a story. And it's like... they just forget that completely, It's like ridiculous. Anyways. Yeah, there's always somewhere for you to break in. And for me, it took me a very long time because I love a lot of it. And it was very hard for me to narrow down where my absolute strengths are. And I found it's in the business side, like producing and dealing with sets and what's it called, like getting actors and finding locations and what's it called? Dealing with paperwork, not paper, like policies or I guess you could call it quote unquote arguing for locations sometimes. Just kind of be like, no, I can't pay that. It's kind of like that business kind of mindset, which I have. And that's kind of more where I found that I love doing that stuff somehow. I don't know why. And it makes the most money. That is the one thing. The business side of film makes the most money. So that's pretty nice for me. But, I don't do it for the money, but I'm just lucky enough to have the one I want to really dive into most have money. I'm very thoroughly knowledgeable of, the film market and the box office and trends in film and big achievements, big box office achievements, all that kind of stuff I'm very well versed on. I'm able to predict at this point if a film's gonna do well or not, and I'm pretty much correct 85 to 90% of the time. And it's insane. It's like I see the first trailer and I'm like, oh, this is gonna flop. Oh, this is gonna succeed. And it does. And I'm not trying to be cocky, like, oh, I know, guys. I'm like the messiah of box office. No. Like, legitimately, I've looked into this stuff so much that I've picked up all the patterns and figured out, what does well and what doesn't. And it seems like that's so like, you so you're telling me every kind of this film isn't going to do well and every kind of that film will, and I'm like, yeah, and that hasn't changed over the past 100 years that film has been a thing. That has not changed. People don't go to the theaters to watch boring sludge. They go to the theaters to be excited, to be invested in characters and a story. Not remakes, Snow White, or weird indie films that are in theaters for a week or two. No one watches those things. And then they're like, oh, cinema's dead. Cinema's dead. I'm like, really? I mean, yeah, it's not as like big and strong as it used to be because, all the studios have a bunch of idiots in them right now. But like, look, right now we have the Minecraft movie. I saw that. It was funny as fuck, but more in the stupid sense, not like it's actually funny, but it's just dumb funny. And it's making millions and millions of dollars, and it's very successful in the box office. So it's like that does well. But a remake that is infamous with an actress with horrible PR and a horrible concept like Snow White isn't going to do well. Like, it's just like common sense is really all it takes to determine if a movie's going to go well or not. And look, some movies that don't do well in the box office are great movies. And some movies that do great in the box office are bad movies. Like, that just happens, and vice versa. It's just people are stupid, and they're like, oh, they're killing cinema because they don't have my favorite type of movie that's always... It's like, no, dude. The general audience of people, the normal people who are not film kids, do not want to watch Anora. They'd rather watch the Minecraft movie than Anora. That's just the truth, dude. Suck it up, Buttercup. Like, honestly, it's like, that is not how life works, okay? Like, it's not. And it's like, here's the thing. It's like, those movies get tons of money, and the movies that make no money get the awards. So it's like, and then Star Wars was both. That's the thing with Star Wars is it got both. Not only did it get the money and shit, it got all the awards. So that was like, it proves, how huge it was. Oppenheimer, same thing. It was a huge film. It had a good story and everything, and it made tons of money and got tons of awards. And those movies tend to be the best. It's just something I found. Kind of all my favorite movies have had high box office profit and have won awards and are iconic, it's just funny. I don't know, it's funny to me that that's kind of how things go, but it makes sense when you think about it that way. And I like films that are perceived bad by most, not Star Wars necessarily. I'm more talking about other films that are kind of perceived as bad or whatever, or not as good, like Pirates of the Caribbean 2 and 3. I really like those films, and I know a lot of people are like, oh, they're so bad, or so. It's like, no. Like, even Indiana Jones 5, I enjoyed that film quite a bit. It's like there's a few movies like that, or Batman versus Superman I enjoyed, that really aren't great movies, but I get it. So there are movies like that where it's like you just personally connect and whatever, but it's funny how my absolute favorites are all kind of huge movies. And I feel like, in my opinion, that's the most captivating, is when you have huge sets and huge overarching character arcs and all that stuff. It's just the best. It's so cool to be immersed in the movie you're watching, and to be taken out of this world and transported to either another version of this world or another galaxy. It's like, it's great. Yeah, but anyways, I'm very passionate about the producing side of film, and I feel that is the key to solving the issue with Hollywood right now, is really just looking at statistics and analytics and understanding, hey, if you keep putting these types of movies out, it's going to look like you're failing, and you will, because it's just statistical. You're not going to make money if you keep making these kinds of movies, versus if you make this kind of movie, you're going to make a ton of money, right? It's like that. It's like just basic skills that you can do from going on Google. But these guys are so stuck up. They have all the stuck up indie filmmakers producing, and it's like, you can't have them producing because they're very bad at their jobs, and that is evident. So what am I going to do in the film industry? Well, I've learned that, I used to be one of those, oh, you just need the better scripts, and I'm going to write the scripts that'll help, me and a few people will write the scripts that'll help push cinema out of this hole, and holy shit, did I learn that is a bunch of bullshit, because it has to go through hundreds of people, big studios, and look, even if all things go well somehow, that's one product out of hundreds that release over a year. That doesn't work. That doesn't do anything. So what you have to do if you want things to change is get in the business side and be the one be a part of the board and be a voice that says, that is not being made, this is being made, this is getting our money, this is not. That is what will actually contribute to a shift. And people don't understand. They're like, people won't write, and it's like, yeah, that is true, and that is a problem, but there are so many unreleased films that were beautiful and weren't released because the executives are so dumb right now that they just filter them out. Like Stuart Beattie's Star Wars trilogy. Why the hell did that not get made? Well, because they're stupid as fuck. So all these stuck-up, pretentious fucking film, what do they call them, cinephile kids, are like, this small and reach this big of an audience, and are stuck in a delusion that they're this film mastermind, but actually aren't successful at all, and just go make their own shit and go to their local film festivals and are low budget for the rest of their lives, but act like they're not. Those kids are the people that I will be overseeing with my vast scale that's here versus them here. Do you understand? So what's my point? My point being is, I'm going to be the one watching over you and going, yeah, remember when you said you were going to be the shit and now you're fucking, I'm at Warner Bros. And you're at fucking bitch ass, not even studio. Like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. And I might not be. I might be at a smaller studio, and I probably will be at first, But my point is that I'll be the one basically having decent control over their shit. And that's just going to be really fucking funny to me. Because these kids are so annoying. They are so annoying. Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm so good. I'm so good at, well, oh my gosh. I'm so good at my cinematography skills. Please. Oh, the shots. Oh, I'm going to be Martin Scorsese because I have good shots. Oh my gosh. I'm going to be Martin Scorsese because I use film and I don't use modern technology that was invented to make people's lives easier. Oh, I'm so good at what I do. Oh, I film grass swaying in the wind. Oh, I'm such a filmmaker. Oh, I'm a filmmaker. I make movies. Oh my gosh. My movies are better than big franchises. Star Wars? Oh, that's not really film. That's junk. We can't have Marvel. Get a life. Get a life, dude. Like honestly, that shows alone how they do not know the film business at all. They do not know story at all. They know nothing. Nothing. And it proves it. Holy shit. I have proven these people wrong way too many times, and they still refuse to acknowledge shit. Maybe he's right because he provided statistics. Maybe he's right because what he said has no error and fully makes sense because it's a fully processed, coordinated thought. Like, here's the thing, is if someone tells me something and it's like really formulated thought and it makes sense and I connect the dots, I'll say, oh, I'm wrong. I was wrong about that. Sorry. But you have these guys who just like, I'm like, dude, like I am making a whole ass Star Wars documentary right now to show these children that Star Wars is not just some franchise that's junk film and so not prestigious and like just made for nerds. And my shitty 2-minute short film that I made was $0. Oh, that's so much better. That is so much better of a film. Oh my gosh. Please give me your last dimes. I'll jerk you off for your last dimes. Please let me make my shit ass film and then I'll say it's better than Star Wars. Please. No. And that's what I'll say. That's what I'm going to be doing. That is what I'm going to be doing. That's the thing. I'll be like, fuck you, dude. Yeah, anyways. I just thought I'd give a little insight on what it's like to be a student filmmaker. And there are tons of pros because you meet a lot of cool people. You get to do cool things. You get to be involved in a job, pretty much working in high school, which is sick. I mean, not really. Most of it, you don't really get paid until later, but you're working like the actual jobs that you would get paid for. You know, you get, I don't know, there's tons of pros, you know. But there are those cons, and those cons are really annoying, and at some point won't exist anymore. But when you're small, kids think they are the shit, and it like is the worst thing, dude. It's so miserable. It's like they're like competitive with each other, like, oh, did you see that shot in that person's film? That was so lame. But in my film, I had my shitty actor who's my best friend do this and that shot. Oh my gosh, it's so much better. It's so much better. It's like, dude, like, who do you think you are, boy? Like, honestly, at this point, it's like, I can't stand these people anymore. I cannot handle it. Like, it has gotten to the point now where I'm sitting in the classroom, I hear some stupid ass comment, and it happens every day. I'm with these guys. Oh yeah, we're better than Hollywood. You're better than Hollywood, really? Really? You don't even post your shit online. Who's gonna watch your shit? You. And you're gonna jerk off to it. You're gonna jerk off to your own films because Guess what? That's not going anywhere. So how are you, tell me how you were better than Hollywood? How are you making a more lasting impact on Hollywood? How are you this amazing, prestigious writer if no one watches your shit, no one says positive things about you, and you don't get views, you don't get money, you don't get anything? How are you better than Hollywood? How? In my opinion, I think that film was better than Hollywood. Would they ever say that? No. What do they say? It's fact. It's fact. My prestigious creativity is so beyond the Hollywood narrative. Is it, Bucko? Is it better than the Hollywood narrative? I don't think so. I don't think so. Is your stupid 2-minute bullshit film with zero story better than a multi-billion-dollar franchise? It's not. You just bend over and suck your own dick constantly. Constantly. Hours on end. Oh my God, bro. Like, these guys, like, it's like I don't understand. It's like, how much self-pleasure do you need daily? Like, there's only so much you can fucking, like, why, man? Why do your own movies, bro? Why do that to your own movies? They're not that good, man. They're student films. I treat all of my films and shit, not films, but like shit I make, whether it's a doc or a film, well, that is a film, but like a doc or a short film or like a music video, whatever, it's just learning. I use it as an experiment. I'm like, not experiment necessarily because it's a finished product, but like, I just use it as a step. It's just a bigger kind of step in my journey. That's all I use it for. I'm not like, oh, this is it. I'm plastering this everywhere. I release all of it so people can see it and see my progress and stuff, but I'm not like fucking, like, that's because that's what it is. Student filmmaking right now, they just practice for the future. That is all it is. And the stuff you make now, you're going to look down and say, holy hell, I was just nothing, and that is nothing, and now I'm making it, like, when you're older, right? But they act like the stuff they make now is just God level. It's like, tame yourself. Tame yourself. Tame. Calm down. Please. Calm the hell down. It's like a chihuahua. It's this tiny little bitch that just, and you have to go, hey, calm down. It's okay. I know your ego's high as fuck, but it's okay to just admit that you're still learning. It's okay to admit that sometimes, but no, that'd be way too hard for me. It'd be too hard for me to admit. Too hard for me to admit. And then all their friends are like, oh, that was so good, dude. And then they do a circle jerk together. Oh. Holy fuck. Yeah. So, anyways, my point being is getting there seems so hard and so, like, based on talent and all this shit, but it's not. Okay, bro, like, you can make it. I believe in you. And here's the thing, is you see this on edits all the time, but persistence, working your ass off, and just really giving a shit will be what gets you there. More than anything. More than you bloating about your stupid shit for hours on end. Your school projects for hours on end. More than that. More than thinking you're fucking Martin Scorsese or you're Christopher Nolan. Just be you. Do shit that's cool to you. And never, ever think that you are done learning. With film, you will be learning till you're retired. If you retire. Because guess what? That's what George did. You think George was like, oh, I know everything after Empire? No. He kept learning new things and new technologies and learning from his mistakes on set, and he grew and grew and grew and grew and grew, right? Like, that's how a successful filmmaker treats themselves. They don't just be like, they don't just elevate themselves the minute they make one good film. Like, that's just such a stupid... Like, you can be proud of one of your products, but if you're like, oh, this is the best, oh, this is Empire Strikes Back right here. Yeah, it's like, come get a grip, man. And it's like, this is the thing, is if you're in that field, it's like so awful. It's being around those people for too long. It's like, it's not like discouraging, but it's like, it really makes me mad. It's like really, really hard for me not to just say absolutely outrageous things to them, because, oh my god, it's so awful. Oh god, it's awful. Yeah, anyways, now at this point, I used to be like, kind of like, what? And now I'm like, oh, here we go again. Another pretentious film boy at it again, being a bitch, you know? I don't know. I'm a good writer, though. I'm a great writer, you know? I can confidently say that. And I can confidently say I could write a better Star Wars story than most of these Lucasfilm folk. Why? Because I know a brand. Because I know a brand. Because I know the brand, I know the story, I know all the characters extremely well. So that, yes, I could. However, would I have the experience of writing scripts as much as them? No, because I'm still in high school. But could I formulate a story for them? Yeah. Yeah, I could. Why? Because I'm a fan. I know what fans want, whatever, you know? And I'm very, very good at producing shit. I'm very good at that. And I will say that too. But, and you know, saying that you write better than you write better Star Wars than modern day Lucasfilm, that is not that high of a bar, bro. Like, that is a low ass bar. Most people could, just even going down to ideas. So that's not like a big thing. Anyways, my point being is, like, you can say you're good at things. And the only reason I'd even say that I could write better than Lucasfilm people at Star Wars is because I have literally spent every day of my life in Star Wars land, so that would be kind of crazy for me not to be able to at this point. And knowing that I am as massive of a fan as I am, like, that would be pretty weird if I'm this deep into it and I can't tell a good Star Wars story. That would not be good. But, yeah, that is the only kind of, not pretentious, only kind of cocky thing that I'd say to anyone about me as a filmmaker. But that's really it. I admit I'm good at what I do, but I'm not going to say I'm better than professionals in the field. That is crazy. It is crazy to say. It's like insane. And look, there are nitwits in the field. Like, if you're saying, oh, I'm better than this specific person and that specific person is an idiot, sure. But if you're gonna say crazy shit that you're better than, like, all these insanely successful filmmakers, like, come on, you're not, bro. But yeah, anyways, it's gonna be funny because I'm gonna be like, I want to be more like, you know. Hold on 1 minute, I gotta look something. Anyways, yeah, I want to be like the Jordan Belfront of film. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like Jordan Belfront, but I prioritize in the film business. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of what I'm aiming for, if that makes any sense. But that is a job, and it's a cool ass job. And I will do whatever I can to get there. Except, I will not all of a sudden become Jewish. So, with that said, it might be a little harder for me to get up there. But I promise you, I will get there somehow, in some way, shape, or form. Yeah. Yeah. So don't worry. You won't see me, being like, oh yeah, my shekels, my shekels are loose, and oh, I'm gonna push all these narratives on you now because that's what all my rabbis do. But you're not gonna see me do that shit, okay? And that's the thing. It's gonna be very hard for me knowing that is what runs the industry. But and here's the thing: if it just crashes and they try to kill me, and I'm telling you that, guys, I'm telling you right now, the only way anyone's gonna get me to stop doing this is trying to kill me. That is the only way. That is the only way they can get me to back off. And even when they do that, I will expose the fuck out of everyone and everything involved. That's the thing. Is like you legitimately cannot stop me from doing this in any way. You could, no matter what you say about me, no matter what rumors you try to spread, my actions will always diminish your statements. Like it's just because it will be proven untrue. You know, other than me knowing that certain folks run Hollywood. I think that's common knowledge at this point. Again, statistical, but I'm not gonna hide that. It's just the truth. My point being, it's guys, I'll be there at some point. And who knows? I might still be doing videos on here. I might not. God knows at that point. But I will be online, and some platform might not be Saade video. It might be fucking only Saade film or whatever. But I'm gonna be online for the rest of my life, pretty much. I'm letting you guys know. There's never gonna be a point where you won't see my face. It's just where you see my face might change, But it's gonna be a cool little journey of my life here. But hey, man, I'm going there, and I will kick some ass. Hopefully, thank you, thanks to God. I hope so. Yeah, and God's the only reason why He gave me this kind of gift of in this knowing what I'm gonna do, at 17 years old, and yeah, that's all thanks to Him. I would not know not even at 17 years old. I knew what I wanted to do at like fucking in 7th grade. Like, it's insane. And I know seniors who still don't know what they're gonna do, and they applied to colleges. Like, bro, it's crazy. And I'm so well versed in it, and I'm so like, it just feels right. You know what I'm saying? And that's normally God telling you, hey, this is for you. So, praise be to the Lord. Anyways, that's fantastic. But I'll be there. And you'll see me. You'll see me up there at some point. And be like, oh yeah, I remember that kid when he was 17. Yeah, he did Star Wars channel. Who knows? He could be like, oh wow, he has the longest running Star Wars YouTube channel. That'll be theory, but I'll be close. Hopefully, who knows? We'll see. We'll see whatever happens there. But you'll remember me. You'll see me. I promise. You'll see me up there. Anyways, yeah. So my tips for you going to the industry. I know this is a big kind of deal for someone, and I really love helping sane people into the film industry who see that it's kind of toxic and everything. You should do it. And look, we need you. We need more chill, good-hearted, pure-souled people in this industry, bro. There are so many evil, legitimately evil, or just obnoxious folk that are in there, and we got to start filtering them out, So we need you, bro. Please. You can do it, and you can reach out to me for anything if you need more tips or you need resources, if you want to learn about stuff. I will teach you, I will help you. So yeah. Andor, okay, this one was funny. I remember when I pulled this one. Andor is better than the prequels. I know this person, and they're just trying to rage bait me. Yeah, no, it's not, bro. I love Andor, but it is not better than the prequels, bro. That's crazy. Anyways, do you visit Disney parks often? Oh yeah, dude. I'm not like, I don't have a pass, so I'm not like in the parks that often. I go like 5 times a year ish, but I'm at downtown Disney, and kind of in that atmosphere a lot, like every other week. Sometimes there's like, I'm just so busy I can't go, and then the most I've gone recently I mean, most like in the longest stretch I haven't gone recently is like 3 weeks. That was like weird. I was like, I have not been there in 3 weeks. That is weird. But at this point, I'm there all the time. Just chilling, looking at, and they put all the new merch in the Star Wars store and in the, you know, all those different stores, and you can be a part of like the Disney experience and their different seasonal events and whatever without being in the park sometimes. And if they made a decently affordable pass, I'd buy it in a heartbeat. But yeah, I love the Disney parks. They're amazing. And every day I'm in the parks, it's just a great day. It's always a great day. Just seeing all the creativity and all the work that they put into making these revolutionary just attractions and pieces of media and entertainment that's kind of shaped the world, and is part of the reason why I'm a storyteller, is literally because of not only films and Star Wars, but because of the Disney parks and going through those rides and seeing a story told visually, right? And being legitimately moving along a story was huge for me. And it's a huge inspiration for my writing. And I write things sometimes where I'm like, okay, this is a part where I feel like I'd be stuck for a while and that's boring, so I won't do that, right? It's like, it's really helped me structurally, and it's helped me introspectively on how, little details and things mean so much. I have, and I've been going there my whole life. So, and I'm in California, obviously, so I'm at Disneyland, California Adventure, Downtown Disney. But those parks mean so much to me, and it's like no matter I still go even when Disney is making the worst decisions. I still go because that is like something that I don't really let go of because it means so much to me, and they haven't destroyed their parks yet. So as long as they don't do that, I'll still be going. Anyways, yeah, great question. Oh, it's this guy. Bro, I don't know who the hell this is, but this guy always asks me this question. Hey man, relationship status. Bro, every time, bro. It's like I scroll through the messages, it's like the same question. So yeah, you're really into that part of me, sir, but I'm not naming names. I'm not going to go too far into it, but I am working on something right now. I'm not working on, that sounds weird, working on it, but I have something going on. I have something going on. It's doing pretty well. Yeah, so we shall see. I've been in like 4 to 5 situationships um throughout the last 3 years, and they've all kind of fallen mostly because I'm like Gen Z. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just get that like she's you know what I'm saying? It's like it's more me pushing. There was one that it was like we both kind of like pushed away because she wasn't totally into me and I wasn't totally into her, and it was like this like weird thing. But I've never straight up had someone like, ha, no way, I'm dead. Like, no, because I'm smart enough to know who to actually start talking to and who to not. But yeah, I am currently in a situationship right now. So there you go, solved. Uh, how do you manage to do so much in your life? You seem like a very busy guy with a lot going on. Yeah, so the thing is it's just you have to be unhealthy, bro. You have to not get a lot of sleep. Like I'm telling you, the past 4 days I've gotten 4 to 5 hours of sleep. If even that. One day I got 3 hours of sleep. You have to constantly be doing things that relate to your interests. Because I'm running this channel, I'm staying, super tight knit with Star Wars, and I'm, building my film resume and trying to get as much experience and education I can there. And then there's just life and dealing with people and women, as time consuming as they are, if and then staying healthy physically. I mean, it's like I guess you could say I don't really rest all that much, bro. I don't, you know? And then it's like I don't really rest. And then I developed an anxiety disorder from all the stuff going on. Just kind of toned down a little bit now, but it's like, it's hell, okay? And it's worth it. It's worth it because I'm doing all the things I love, right? So it's like, it's worth it, you know? And then especially when you live in a super hyper functional family as I do, you have to deal with that all the time, and that's kind of horrible. So it's like, I'm not like, oh, I'm, I hate when kids go, oh, I'm abused. I'm gonna call the cops. I'm so abused. It's like, no, you have a dumbass. You're living with dumbasses, right? And it's like it's like you have to understand that there's pros and cons to every dumbass most of the time. Some of them they're just fucking stupid, and some they're like there's pros and cons, So it's like, yeah, we don't think the same. I'm very 3D, three-dimensional, creative thinker, and they're very like, what? As their careers, My dad's an office guy. He just works in an office and does nothing all day, watches TV, etc. Pretty boring. I'd rather kill myself personally than do that. My mom is a teacher, so she's like obsessive over school, and school is the most important thing and whatever. I know that they kind of probably brainwashed her into that. But again, straightforward thinker, doesn't think out of the box pretty much ever. Then there's me, and I'm like thinking of every angle of possible of every situation, whether it's an argument, a relationship, a whatever the hell. When I'm ordering food, I'm like, oh, if I get this, people are like, oh, it's overthinking, but it's not. It's not. It's just. Actually, I think the best mindset someone can have, and I'm lucky I have it. I've developed it over the years, but being able to see every aspect of an issue or situation is the only way you're going to get the full truth. And I know people who are so narrow-minded and only think one way and there's no other way for them to think. It's because they were parented horribly and taught that there's only one way for every problem in the world. And I don't think that way. I think in hundreds of ways about everything. And that is why I know the truth about things, and I accept the truth even if it's hard to, And let's say I know history better than most people my age. Let's just say that. Let's just say I'm not endorsing 2024 political candidates. None of them. They're all just the same. They're all the same. They all have the same people backing them. It's like, I just know history. And it's like, hey, you can call me crazy, but the truth sounds crazy in a world full of lies. So it's like, suck my dick at that point. But anyways, yeah. That's how I manage. I don't. I just do. Do or do not. There is no try. There you go. Have you shot guns before? Yes, I love guns. I love guns. They're so cool. They're just so cool. I've always, since I was a kid, I've loved technology and like not mechanics, but like seeing how stuff works and using cool stuff. I don't know. And guns are that to me. It's like a tinker toy. It's like this cool thing. It's like experimenting. Hey, could we? What would this gun do to a car or what? I love watching those videos, and it's so fun. It's so fun. It's just something that kind of makes me smile. I don't know. They're fun, and people look at guns like, oh, school shooting, gun equals school shooting. It's like, no, people like just have hobbies of like just shooting guns in not a violent way. Like it's just like a device that they use that brings them joy. It's like not for violent intentions whatsoever. They're not like, oh, I can't wait to kill someone. They're like, no, this is fun. Like, whoa, it just explodes. They're like me. They're like me. They like watching stuff explode. It's just fun. It's fun. It's fun. Not explode, but you know what I'm saying. It's fun. I shot a AR-15 and I shot a 1911 in Las Vegas last year. Wow, holy shit, it's been almost exactly a year since then. That's crazy, but that was the first time I shot guns, and I loved it. It was very fun. I was really nervous the first time, because it's like, you always think irrationally, like there's no reason to be, but you're like, what if I drop it and it goes off, or, it's like stupid, but I was really, really good, actually. I have my target still, but I was really good. From my first time, I did great. But yeah, I'm always watching like Garand Thumb or um, what's his name, Hickok 45, or all those guys out there. And then I watched Demolition Ranch. I know he's retiring now, which is sad, but I watched him. Like, I watch all of them, really. And then there's other guys. But it's just fun. It's a fun thing. It's great. Yeah, but yeah, I'm pro-gun. Very pro-gun. I know liberals are going to lose their fucking shit over that statement. And fuck you, personally. Because guess who you're going to call if someone's trying to kill you or if someone's trying to rape you? You're going to call the cops. And what might the cops do? Kill the person attacking you. And what are you going to go? No, you shouldn't have done that. You should have just let them. No. That's the thing. And if you want to ban all guns for people, then that means, and this is something Star Wars taught me actually, is that means the military has all the power. The government has all the power. And then, the people have to submit, because if they don't submit, then they can just get killed. And there's no way for them to revolt or defend themselves, so, and that was built into the Constitution as well. So, it's good to keep these things in mind. But yes, I love guns. How pretentious are your film people? Oh, wow. Well, I already went into that, so I'm not going to go into it again, but they're pretty pretentious. Some of them aren't. Some of them contain themselves, and some of them are, so that's kind of how it goes. How does being a Star Wars fan affect your life? It has. It really, really has. And in very positive ways. For me, more positive than negative. Mainly because I just always have viewed the negative as just like, yeah, all the negative has done is made me grow as a person. That's the thing, like getting bullied, and this, any real Star Wars fan who grew up like loving Star Wars at a real level as a kid has gotten bullied for it at some point. It might not be a lot. Like, I wasn't bullied a ton. I'm gonna be real. I wasn't bullied a ton, but there have been times, and at first it's like, what? Like, what? Just because I like this thing, like, what's wrong? Like, there's nothing wrong, and you're like overthinking it. It's like, they're fucking stupid. Then you learn, like, okay, who cares? And then you start realizing, wait, so these guys are kind of like mentally ill, and they have their own life issues, and they're trying to spill all their life issues on me, and they want to start something, and you have to learn, oh, don't start shit. And then you have to just kind of be a dick sometimes. That is also something I've learned. You just gotta be an asshole. And when you act like an asshole around them, they won't talk to you. If you threaten them enough, they won't talk to you. So it's just being strong, being firm, being confident. You won't have big issues, But yeah, there was a period of time where it was really bad, like really, really bad. And I was like, I swear I'm going to beat the hell out of this kid at some point. Like, I was like, and I could, because, I could, just trust me. And I was like, if he does it again, he's going to have either his head slammed on a desk or a pencil in his head. Either way, I was like, he's done. Like, I'm not dealing with this, and then I kind of had to reassess, would that be what Jesus would want me to do? No. So I didn't. But, my point being, it's like Rebels versus Empire. Like, Star Wars fans are always the underdog, really, in every situation in a social gathering. You are always the underdog. So it's like, you're kind of breaking societal code in a way and going against the norm. And, being a Star Wars fan kind of taught me the value of that, and how me prioritizing Star Wars over having, being cool and going to parties and having sex and all that shit, it's just, I've always had Star Wars, and it's kept me away from all of that. God used Star Wars to keep me away from all of that junk, and it's like, that's at some point where I learned I have broken that code, that societal code, and that I guess I'd call it, so that the societal matrix of things I broke through. And I remember there's this one specific day where I realized, holy shit, I have just become an individual And that was the best feeling, just knowing like that you think for yourself and that no one can stop you from thinking for yourself. That was like just such an amazing realization for me. Um, you know, and you see other people who don't do that and you watch their lives get destroyed, and then you just sit there going, I told you, man. And then they just continue to destroy their lives because they don't want to believe in God and they don't want to do all the things that you should do, and then they're the ones who bully you. And it's like, well, look at our lives comparatively. Look at our prospective views of our futures comparatively. I think I'm better off. It's like, yeah. And it's really like, you just got to try your best to mind your own business. Obviously, if it gets really bad, then you got to do what you got to do at some point. That's my thing. And you got to do what you got to do. You got to defend yourself at some point. That's the thing. You can't sit back forever and let people ride all over you. And I was horrible with that because I was a very like nonchalant child that I still am nonchalant, but like not really as much anymore. But I used to just let people say whatever they wanted to say about me around me, and I was just like, oh, I wouldn't say anything. And now, not so much. Now I will get in their face sometimes and, tell them things I've done to other people and like why they should probably avoid that. And, it's like, then they keep their distance. And, you have to kind of be like, be a tough dude, really. And that's something I learned because COVID destroyed all that side of me. I was a pretty social child before COVID, and then COVID hit and I was just at level zero again. And now I'm back up pretty high. I'm like back to really normal now, but during COVID, I lost all my social skills. Like it was so bad. And it's like I couldn't, in in eighth grade. Oh God, it was horrible. I wouldn't say I lost all my social skills, but they were just bad because most people's they were just bad right after COVID. Because I wasn't seeing friends as much, I wasn't around people as much, and it was just horrible. And I, oh God, yeah, it was bad. But anyways, I grew, but yeah, it does. You have people who will judge you for being a Star Wars fan. It's almost like people look at Buddhists weird because they're not. Why would I use Buddhism as an example? Holy fuck. People look at Christians weird because we believe in God and they're like, well, where is he? I can't see him because, they're stupid as fuck and can't think. But it's like, it's like that pretty much, where it's like, it's this thing that you're so heavily involved in that it just looks weird to people. It confuses them because it's so out of the norm that they like haven't seen anything like it. And it makes them uncomfortable. They're like, what? Why would, what, huh? But then normal people who have good intentions wouldn't care. They'd be like, oh, I know Star Wars and I know there's a big fan, whatever, and they don't care. Because it's an interest, but... And then other people are like, oh, it's just so weird. Why are you into this anime, weird alien stuff? And they group you in with the anime people. And I do not. I do not fit in with that. I've been to Comic-Con before, and I seem like a cocky, I don't want to say like cool, but like I seem like I don't know, like just a pretty cool guy, honestly. And it's like, and then I'm at school when I was, not anymore really, but when I was at school back in the day, I was absolutely not considered that in social ranks. Now I've just terrorized enough of the social circles that they all know just not to fuck with me anymore. Even if it means just like kind of laughing in their face, or, you know, just smiling when they say stuff like that to you, and they just think you are crazy. They think you are crazy. They're like, all right, this guy's gonna do something horrible. I should not, you know? Yeah, so now I stick to my group of people, and I avoid the rest of it. You know, it's like I'm here on my island and they're over there, and they can go kill themselves and fuck themselves and drink themselves to death and OD themselves to death, and I will be over here on this side of things and live over here, and I'm fine with being over here, you know? So it's like, do what you gotta do, man. But yeah, and then obviously, positively, Star Wars has given me so much reinforcement in terms of being a good person, furthering my Christian values, giving me a hobby, something to love and live for, you know, something to, I guess, it's taught me a lot about history and the way the world works, taught me a lot about philosophy, how people think. Star Wars is the reason why I memorize names so fast now, because since I was a kid, I've been reading those character guides and like memorizing all the characters, and like, you know, so it's like that's become really great. My literary skills are because I read books that were 5 years ahead of my level in second grade, because they were Star Wars and they had Vader or Obi-Wan, whatever in them, and I was like, I don't care, I'm still going to read it because it's Star Wars. My writing skills are better because I've analyzed Star Wars so much. My film and analytic skills are so much better than most because I've analyzed Star Wars so deeply. You know, the whole reason I'm going into film is because of Star Wars, you know? So it's like Star Wars has done so much for me, more positively than negatively. So I'd never trade it for anything, to be honest. So yeah, it does. It definitely, being a real Star Wars fan affects your life, dude. It does. It does. But I wouldn't say it's not like, you know, seismic. If you're a casual fan, then it's not, doesn't really do anything. But if you're really deep into it, it does for sure. And then, you know, I'm pretty well known at my school at this point, whether it's well known or infamous, you know, it depends on the person. But yeah, because I'm just such like not a typical like nerd, you know, that like it throws people off, you know, because it's like, I don't know, the way I act and stuff, like you expect most nerds to be like, oh, but I'm like, you know, I have a you know, I speak my mind. I'm knowledgeable of things. I acknowledge that I need to be healthy. I'm outside. I do things all the time, right? So it's like, again, it's like me in theory, bro. I'm telling you, like, and then obviously there's some other ones out there, but like just the, you know, the cool nerds, you know, that's us, and we're out there just living our lives. We're not hiding in a dungeon. We're more Star Warsy than the dungeon people, but more active. It's crazy. We can do it. We can do it. It just means that you don't have as much time scrolling on Instagram Reels. Like, I'll take it, but it does. But anyways, yeah. That's kind of the situation. And that is it for this video. Those were all the questions. So I hope you guys liked it. Leave a like, subscribe, and share. And I will see you in the next video. Till the next one, may the force be with you always.